out of the hatred against other races, which every single race out there has endured racism. One that doesn't really get covered is the hate against Asians. And this has not just been recently. This has like also happened since back when Asians were immigrating to other countries, when Asian countries like poor and they weren't. Well, some countries were sort of like successful, like while some like Korea, Japan, and most other Asian countries that were not so successful and they were like sort of poor countries, unlike how they are today nowadays. Just like back when they were immigrating, and while like Chinese people were helping making the railway system in North America, U.S., Canada, and USA. And while Chinese people are they were attacked and hanged and even killed after they were stranded over here in North America, after realized they couldn't really, they didn't have enough money to go back. Japanese people were farming way before World War II, which there was a lot of Japanese farmers, but only one Japanese farmer farm family are only existing right now. But I'm quite sure some have regained their farms back, but a lot of lost their farms because they were put in camps. Not as severe as the Nazi camps, but they were put in ones. Canada and USA did this. The Koreatown riot in Koreatown, Los Angeles, when black people were accusing the Korean immigrants for stealing jobs when they're actually the Korean immigrants were trying to make a living, because back when Korea was poor, both north and south, before the USA and Soviet Union split it in the north and south. And that was when the black people over there were just only selling drugs, and they weren't trying to work hard, and they were violent, and police even got involved. Which a lot of people, mostly North America, where people of other races were thinking, were viewing it as, oh, you Asians don't belong here, go back to where you came from. That comment was being thrown a lot, and there were people dropping the C word, or giving the slant eye. That was enough racism, and not much that was covered. But when the coronavirus pandemic happened, March 2020, that's when things really started to get worse. And a lot of that was when Chinese people and mostly Chinese Americans were accused of starting coronavirus. And when a lab in Wuhan, China, there was that announcement although it's not 100% clear where it originally originated. And then there was like people like previous president of the USA, Donald Trump, using the words China virus and Kung flu, which is both racist and offensive, which the actual scientific terms are like coronavirus or COVID-19. And starting that year, Asian people were spat on. They were told that go back to China. They were slant eye. They were attacked often. Some Asian businesses robbed. As we hear reports from all across North America, from Los Angeles to Chicago to New York to Toronto to Vancouver, Montreal, where people were attacked and robbed and even Asian American, Asian Canadian people, police were talking about this. And although some things like Kevin Nishimura, who is like the one who started the Far East movement, the Asian American group, of him and 3 others, although it's just him and 2 others now. And also the owner of the Transparent Arts, the Asian American music label. And even he held just days before July 1st an Asian American music festival, which consisted of people like Far East Movement, Dumbfounded, Tiffany Young, Henry, and a whole bunch of other Asian American artists you may know of. And so in 2021, Benny Luo started the Next Shark, the Asian news and also one of the people who started the hashtag Stop Asian Hate, and working with people like Ken Jeong and a whole bunch of other Asian Americans out there who decide to stand up for their fellow Asians who have been targets of racism and have been affected in any form of way, physical, verbal, or cyber. And also people also giving contributions like Korean American cartoonist Leila Lee, who's the one who does the comic Asian Asian girl. You probably see it on Instagram. Just search angry Asian girl. And she also does a lot of comics that were mostly Asian immigrants would understand. Also with major companies like McDonald's, the Pokemon Company, and a whole bunch of other large franchises have been donated money to what is called Asian American Pacific Islanders group which supports Asian American Pacific Islanders and let's say, and there's also other Asian support groups who are out there, but there's some out there who are not so helpful, and they're just faking it. And then while some people who have also decided to speak out, with also musicians like guitarist and producer Tabin Lee, who is a Korean immigrant, grew up in Toronto, works out of Montreal right now. Had told this story about people being racist to him at concert performances, using a C word, which is it's offensive to Chinese and Korean people. Some people mistook him for Chinese, and also offensive. Oh, are you from North or South Korea? Which Koreans hate to hear that. And he has also made several tweets regarding saying that, and also he also said this as well on Twitter. People endorse Asian culture, but they do not accept Asian people, and that is true. Because people they are like Japanese manga and anime and the games that they make and Korean K-pop and the other music, Korean drama, or and whatever comes out of China, like Chinese food, or they go to Chinese buffets. And they think they know Chinese. They try to speak the language of Asians. They try to make their own versions of our food, and which and they go to our places, the restaurants, the businesses, and everything. They think they know our culture, but really they don't. And even then make fun of Asians as well, and also the Asian stereotypes. Oh, you're Asian. Oh, you must be smart, or they think all Asians are either Chinese or Japanese. And there's still people who are still blaming Asians, go back to where China or other stuff, and even racism is over. It's still happening, even in Australia, where some people have been very anti-Asian, hate towards Asian people over who live in the Pacific Coast. And even though some changes may be made, like helping the Asian community, or having schools that learn the contributions of Asians to certain of the countries, or the current U.S. President Joe Biden passing along, or also in support of Asian Americans, unfortunately, that is not enough. Because there have been still some attacks and everything that is going on, and it doesn't just happen over in the Americas or in Australia or Europe. Even though this kind of word has made its way all the way to Asian countries, and they know about the discrimination that is going on in these countries, and yet nothing is done about it. And while the other racial groups who get support, like the white people, have always gotten support, and they've also been targets of racism at times, because they have been victims of racism and will actually admit that, because it's true. Black people have then gotten a lot of support because there have been a lot of supporting black people videos, and even a lot of scenarios or life stories or stuff that they make the like white people the bad guy, and black people the target. There's too much of that. Latinos have also gotten support, and not just racial, but also the LGBT people have also gotten more support than Asian people have ever got. And so, and even like we've been talking about media about Asian out there that are about the Asian people, like Kim's Convenience, which the play, which ended up getting a spin-off, and some people Netflix series, and people have been looking at that wrong, and even Simu Liu and Jin Yoon have been speaking out about it, and then some people like Mr. Beast has no regards of Squid Game and just doing it for views. And there's a whole bunch of other things that people will endorse or try to make their own versions of Asian things or culture, and they have no care of about how Asian people would think about it, and they have do not consider Asian people at all. So, and with so many decades, so many years, 3 years into the coronavirus pandemic, and literally nothing has changed. So stop only supporting the black people, the Latinos, the LGBTs, the Aboriginals, which they deserve to get attention though too. Asian people also need to get support as well. So, don't always just consider those people. Also consider supporting Asian people too, because we never get help. And when police reports happen, and if you don't have video evidence or photo evidence, they don't even bother to help you. So unlike there are other people, we don't even get help. So this is why we really are speaking out about it, and So please help support the Asian community. See racism or hate crimes targeting Asian people, anti-Asian hate. Report it. Oh, do something about it. Step in. Report it to the police. All evidence. Take photos or videos as you go and help. Please contact the local Asian support group near you. There are quite a lot, but mostly you do the ones like Stop Asian Hate and the AAPI. The other ones are not so credible. And please support for any friends or people you know, and maybe make some friends who are Asian instead of giving us, making fun of us or talking trash about us, and actually do support us. Because just supporting our content or what we make is not enough. Support our people too. For any post that you make speaking out about it and supporting us, use the hashtag StopAsianHate and hashtag StopRacism, because we need it more than ever. Because so many decades and so many years back, and nothing has changed. While other people, other races are benefiting, and even LGBT, we aren't. So please support us.